Hello, 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 my loves. How are we feeling? What is happening? Happy Tuesday. We are diving into your Healing Light Tarot, the Oracle of the Mermaids, and as always, your soul's truth to see what is coming up for you. What do your messages, angels, to your messages, oh my God. Yeah. What do your angels and guides, excuse me, have to say to you this week? We're diving in. Thank you, Spirit, for the messages, for the guidance. We've got the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. This is really all about, there's that balance card that came out in the intuition card, or in the intuitive intellect reading. Oh my God. I know, baby. You're fine. What? And clearing the energies. We've also got the Eight of Swords in the reverse. So this to me is really getting out of your own head, getting out of the prison in your mind. So changing the narratives, changing the thought patterns and the perspectives. The King of Pentacles is all about being grounded in that inspired action, giving yourself permission to witness the abundance rather than the I don't have enough of this or this or this, right? You're getting out of that prison in your own mind of lack and limitations, not seeing the abundance that is surrounding you in the actions that you're taking. So you're shifting the story, you're changing the narratives, you're being the star. You got to give yourself to be. What does that, like, main character is literally what I just heard. What does it mean for you to be the main character of your own movie? Or your own TV show? The Seven of Swords. Changing the story, the narratives. Walking away from the things that are not in alignment with where you're going. Who did you come here to be? And rather than looking at it from this perspective of a woe is me, I have to leave this over here to do this over here. Like, how can you get excited about what it is that you're bringing in, the opportunities, the new adventures, the experiences, the relationships, you don't even know how good it's going to get is kind of what I just heard. The fucking Emperor. That Emperor, right? That high value, high class, high energy, high vibration. Being grounded in it rather than, right? This to me is like shadow wounded masculine. Well, how can you sit with the shadow wounded masculine energy and give yourself recognition for how you're showing up differently? Healing your relationship with the masculine energy. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Healing your relationship with your inner masculine and femininity. Trusting the process. Being in that space of recognizing how good and amazing it can be. So you have the Queen of Cups. You have the Five of Swords, so we're walking away. This to me is like your emotional maturity and stability is allowing you to walk away from the deceptions of your mind. You got to be in the balance though. It's not about extremism. And the High Priestess. So this to me is really allowing yourself to be in that High Priestess, right? You're balancing. You're walking away from deception, and deception within your own mind, within your own day-to-day habits and actions. Being in the balance. We've got the Eight of Swords again with the Wheel of Fortune. You're allowing yourself to let it all go. You're being in this process, getting out of your head. Recognizing, here's the thing, you have to recognize that you are the High Priestess. You are the light. These are your gifts. That's the thing, is everybody on this earth has gifts, but they're different, and how they tap into them are different, and you know what they move through is different, and the energy of all of that. But it's really like balancing within your own self, centering within your own self, and recognizing, you know, what does it mean for you to create the space to go through that deep emotional healing? So tapping into that divine feminine energy, 11:21 on the clock, so that you can recognize that emotions are energy in motion, and rather than like running away from them or going, oh my God, right? Or panicking, you're sitting with them. You're allowing yourself to walk away from the deception in your own mind. So like the intrusive thoughts. You're stopping yourself right off the hop and being like, no more. Chariot. It takes time though, right? Allowing yourself to move through. And what are the obstacles and challenges that can come up when we're trying to do this? So like we're moving through it, emotional maturity. How are we, oh man, giving more of your energy into that emotional stability than the immaturity, right? You're amplifying, you're doubling the experience. 11:22, it's master numbers, right? You are aligned, you are connected, you are inspired, you're also allowed to be who you came here to be, because you're trusting the process. The Eight of Cups, walking away because you're the Magician. So this to me is all like you are walking away from things that are old versions of yourself, and you're manifesting this connection and this connection and this connection and this connection. You're allowing yourself to recognize, you know, like everything is unfolding, and it's almost going to be this like avalanche of, it's all of a sudden you're like boom and boom and boom and boom and boom and boom and boom, because you're in the energy. You're in a space where you're no longer holding on to all of this dense heavy over here, and it's creating this space for you to expand into this over here, because you are worthy of it. The Magician, you are manifesting your life, whether you're aware of it or not. You're opening yourself up. You're creating the new opportunities. You're stepping in to the way you want life to be. And it is going to feel uncomfortable at first, because you're meeting yourself in all of these different aspects and narratives and stories, but you got to first catch yourself. The Ten of Swords. You got to get out of that, right? The Ten of Swords and the Eight of Swords, that letting go of the nothing is ever working out, or I'm not safe, or I'm not protected, or, you know, whatever it is that the story is you tell yourself. You have to be willing to see yourself in a different mindset and aspect and narrative. You got to communicate to yourself differently, show up differently, recognize the beauty and abundance of, you know, what inspires you to be your best self, and allowing yourself to be in the light of what it is that you're creating. You're opening yourself up. You're amplifying. Eight of Pentacles. We've got that, and then the Lover's card, which is all about, but then we also have the Knight of Swords and the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands that's popping out too. So that's the thing, is you're stepping into the masculine of I am divinely empowered. Whether you're male or female, this is about you healing and nurturing and honoring and loving and empowering your own internal masculine and feminine energy. This is you reclaiming the magician, is literally what I just heard. This is you allowing yourself to show up for your life with intention. So what are the challenges with this? So like how, like what are we going to kind of face, right? Like what's going to come up through that process? So we have the 3 of Cups, the 2 of Cups, and the 7 of Wands. So the challenge is really celebrating even when you're in the messy bits, right? So that like true love energy within yourself, nurturing, showing up in that, like you're allowing yourself, even when you don't have like the external just yet, it's showing up in this space as if it already is. You're in the energy of that future reality. So the money in the bank, learning about money, to, how do you make your money work for you? Investing, looking at different investments, educating yourself, expanding, growing, learning. Oh my God, I love it. You have the Empress popping out beneath the Page of Swords. So reframing that narrative, the Page of Swords. This is like changing the language, the butterfly effect, changing the language and how you communicate to yourself. This is all about you rewiring the radio station to tune the dial and ask, so you're seeing the manifestations come in. You're seeing the connections, the relationships. You are so divinely aligned. Everything, and it's so funny because all I keep hearing is like click, 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 and click, 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 and click, click, click. Everything is clicking into place exactly as it is meant to. And you are exactly where you're meant to be, so that you can give yourself that space and permission to let go of the fucking weight. Let go of the weight, let go of the stress, let go of the struggle and the pain, like all of this stuff you're holding on to. Ace of Pentacles. Sitting in it. It's kind of this, what I just heard is like you're one decision away from a whole new life. The question is, are you going to step into it? Are you going to give yourself that opportunity to, again, reframe the stories, reframe the narratives? It did. The 4 of Cups. So rather than, we got the King of Cups in the reverse at the bottom of the deck. So this to me is like when you find yourself in this space of like focusing on this, how can you catch yourself? How can you meet yourself in that space and be like, nope, wait, stop. I am open to being in this. This to me is really that, this is that overall energy, is really like meeting yourself in those spaces. So you're choosing different narratives and you're responding differently. You're allowing yourself to be where you are and recognize that it's only a part of the journey. Like where you are right now is not where you're going, and where you're going is completely up to you. But you got to ask yourself, how important is it to you? Do you want to continue to stay in these realms and elements of not feeling good enough, feeling unworthy, and like, yeah, it's going to take some hard calls, and it's going to take some tough decisions, and it's going to be, you're going to go back and forth, and you're going to have days where everything is sunshine and rainbows and hunky-dory, and you're going to have other days where the emotions get the better of you. And, so how can you meet yourself in those spaces and recognize, like, what you're living in this moment right now is something that you asked for in some way, shape, or form, either consciously or subconsciously. And so when you can bring yourself back into that space, even with the King of Cups in the reverse, right? Sitting with the shadow wounded emotions, sitting with the shadow wounded masculine energy of where do you not feel safe in your emotions, or, do you feel like you have to hold back from what you're saying and sharing and doing and all of these things, or are you going to give yourself the space and permission to actually be in the abundance of what it is that you're asking for? So what is the outcome of all of this? So the overall is like not focusing. So what is that surprise? What is the surprise that the universe has for us that we don't see? Oh my fucking God. Literally cannot make this shit up. 11:31 on the clock. So 1131, angel number, look it up. With the 9 of Cups, the Queen of fucking Pentacles, and the King of Cups in the reverse. But then we've got the 6 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. Okay, so we also have the Devil. We have the 4 of Swords in the reverse. We have the Empress in the reverse. We have the Devil. We have the 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, you gotta stop holding on to the story of it not being enough, because you are. Like, the Queen of Pentacles here, this here is also like oversharing. So the 6 of Cups in the reverse is really where are you? What literally just came into my brain was energy leaks. And I'm not meaning this to like bash anything down, but looking at those energy leaks within yourself, the distractions. What is pulling your energy? What are the habits and the behaviors and the mindsets and the patterns and the stories that you continue to tell yourself day in and day out? And overall, like, are you focusing on everything that isn't good enough? Or are you allowing yourself to get fucking excited to meet yourself in the space of that shadow wounded masculine and feminine energy and everything like that, to recognize that you are grounded within your ability to receive? But you got to give yourself permission to do so. You got to meet yourself in that space, right? And get excited. Recognize when you're overgiving. Recognize when you're feeling depleted or you need to like self-care. P.S. My Feeling Safe for Self-Care book is $22 US. It's absolutely fucking amazing. It's like a handbook to help you learn and understand and recognize what it means to feel safe for self-care. Because you got to be able to learn how to self-care in order to do deep emotional healing and shadow work. Because you have to be able to learn how to hold space for yourself, how to love yourself, how to recognize that even when you're in those moments of hot mess express, you are still valued, you are still worthy, you're still whole. You're your own individual being every single minute of every single day, and you hold the power to receive the wish fulfillments, but you've got to be open to receive it. You got to step into it, own it, acknowledge it. I swear to God, every time I pick up this deck, it's either in the reverse or it's in the upright. But this to me, Atlantis, rapid development, excellence and success. So being in the reverse, and then we also have telepathy, nonverbal communication, energetic pulses, mind reading. This to me, like with both of these being in the reverse right at the moment, I get very much this energy of like really being mindful, because the moment that you decide to shift that energy, everything happens really rapidly. So what are the stories? What are the narratives? It's almost this, what just came up, and I've said this before, is like, you can't not believe in miracles and then expect miracles. Or, you know, you can't want to attract a healthy relationship, but then believe that all men are shit and there are no good men out there. Endurance, keep going, keep showing up, right? So many people give up like right before they break ground. And here again, right? Exactly. Endurance, keep going. Everything comes together, everything aligns, everything expands, everything is going click, 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 click. You got to give yourself the permission to see it in a different perspective and manner. Experiments, manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge, and arrogance. This to me is like sit with those shadows, sit with the societal conditioned beliefs about, you know, something needing to be this way. Break the fucking mold. Stop feeding energy into those societal norms of conditioned programming and allow yourself to step into the rapid success, step into the abundance of opportunities and fulfillment and expansion, because you never know what's going to happen. Energy field adjustment, aura cleansing, and health. So this is like nourishing your mind, nourishing your body, fueling your body, recognizing like you got to clear away the bullshit, clear away the toxins. You are your own magician, right? You don't have to feed into societal norms because that's what people around you are saying. Does it take some time to reframe that story and show up differently? And as I'm like falling over in my chair being like, yep, but you have to make that decision to show up differently because you're allowing yourself to recognize and be where you are. You're recognizing who you are and you're no longer apologizing for it. This to me is really like, it's time for you to just love you for you. Wow. Sacrifice. There are those worth making. There are those that will destroy you. So really looking at it and being like, this is like, are you abandoning parts of yourself to stay comfortable and small for other people's comfort? Or are you willing to sacrifice a little bit of discomfort in this aspect or whatever it may be for you to move that needle forward, to put yourself out there? Because you have the 10 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, the new beginnings, but you got to give yourself that permission to show up as that High Priestess. You're not recognizing your own power. And it's time, and then time out, awareness, contemplation, solitude, time alone. You need this time alone to be in this space of I am growing, I am learning, I am healing, I am transforming how I show up. You have to become aware of what you're giving your energy to, and is it helping you get to where you want to go, or is it keeping you in all of those narratives and stories of focusing on everything that isn't the way exactly that you want it to be? What can you focus on that is abundance, that is gratitude, that is I have enough, I am enough? You got to start telling yourself that you're enough. There's that Atlantis card again poking out. Fill yourself with that. See yourself in that space, right? So if you want to be, what this just came through, if you want to be a New York Times best-selling author, then you need to sit and embody, which means you have to show up for your life in all aspects, emotionally, energetically, mentally, physically, spiritually. Show up in the energy of a New York Times bestseller. And that means that you have to sit and be like, what would that person be like? So then watch videos on YouTube of New York Times bestsellers and how do they show up and what is their story and how did they get there and how did they build those things? And, you know, giving yourself that space and permission to be like, oh, I get to actually do this for me. Like, I get to actually enjoy my life and do things that inspire me. And, you know, what would be that life? Because here's the thing, you can't attract the future life living in old patterns. You can't attract the new life living in old patterns. So you got to make different choices. You got to show up differently. You got to love yourself differently. You got to give yourself permission to be seen. Know your value, know your worth. And don't be afraid to shine bright, because you're worthy of shining bright. 11:41 on the clock. It's time for you to move forward. Foundations, perseverance, 111. You are the creator of your own reality. Receptivity. Allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to give. Masculine and feminine energy healing. If this is something that you're ready to step into, my Empowerment of the Divine meditation series is amazing. It's $88 for 3 45-minute guided meditations, all about taking you through the journey and experience of healing your masculine and feminine energy, empowering your divine empowered, and sitting with, acknowledging, and recognizing your shadow wounded. And then unifying and amplifying and igniting the two into your physical presence. Receptivity, you got to give yourself the permission to receive, to be, to love, to create. Because nobody else can do that for you. Oh, hold up. I just gotta... I feel it in my own self, right? I also go through this. I heed these messages. I need these messages just as much as you do. Is spirit kicking my own ass? Adrift, letting go, allowing a higher force to take charge for a time. Surrender. Allow yourself to be in the void and still show up. Be in that space. Receptivity. Allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to give. You have to give yourself permission to be in the receptive mode. It doesn't come from anybody else. And in order for you to do that, divination, prophecy, fate, destiny, future fortune. You gotta give yourself permission to be in that space. Reclaim being the magician of your own life. Reclaim being balanced within healing and living and growing and teaching and learning and loving and just being human. Allow yourself to be in the space of the messy bits. Allow yourself to love who you are along the way. Allow yourself to recognize that no is an entire sentence all on its own. And you don't owe anybody anything. It's okay for you to be where you are. It's okay for you to recognize that you have enough. The universe is literally like, it's time for you to get out of your own damn way. It's time for you to see how everything is working. You have to be open to it in order for you to receive it. You have reflections. What you contemplate can actualize. So looking at yourself in the mirror every day and telling yourself that you love yourself, choosing yourself. What does it mean to choose you? What does it mean to love you? 44 and 11, environment, intuition, individuality. You have to change the environment to change the experience, both internally and externally, right? What are you giving your energy to in your environment? What environments are you putting yourself into? And are they helping you get to where you want to go? Or are they keeping you in these cycles and patterns and stories of feeling unworthy, feeling not good enough? But you got to sit with the emotions, and you've got to be grounded in both the feminine and the masculine. I love here that you have the Queen of Pentacles. So it's the feminine energy in the earth, in the grounded stability. And then you have the masculine, you have the king in the emotions, but it's in the reverse. So where are you allowing your emotions to get the better of you? Where have you been holding yourself back from actually being in that receptive mode and giving yourself permission to be seen? Giving yourself permission to love who you are because you believe that you are worthy of it. Not because you're looking for other people to fucking say that. It's not about that. This is about you loving and choosing you for you. You working with your own guides, getting out of your own fucking head, and recognizing that you are the creator of your own reality. Yeah. And the mermaids close it out with air. Again, mindsets, breathing deep, entering into life. Exchange of life-bringing energies. So this is really all about you giving your power and energy into relationships and experiences that are helping you move forward. This doesn't mean that like you're burying your head in the sand and negating like the past stuff. You're not running away from it. What you're doing is you're reframing the narratives and the perspective. You're showing up for your life differently. You're acknowledging it. You're taking ownership over it. You're acknowledging that you're not perfect, and that's okay. It's okay for you to make mistakes. It's okay for you to fuck up. It's okay for you to not have all of the answers. It's okay for you to ask for help. It's okay for you to love yourself. And if you haven't been, this is your reminder to start. And what does that look like for you? You got to get really clear on what does it mean for you to love and accept yourself. Because if you want other people to love and accept you, you have to be able to love and accept yourself. Because what we receive, right, out here is how we feel in here. So if we don't feel loved and accepted within ourselves for who we are, then how can we expect anybody out here to do it? Also recognizing that they're only going to be able to love and respect us in the manner in which they love and respect themselves. So what are you attracting, and how are you attracting it? Are you attracting these things with intention, or are you frilly willy-nilly all over the place, blasting energy here, there, and everywhere, and then like bitching and complaining about what you're getting? I mean, I've done it. I've been there. But the thing to remember again is you don't have to stay there. So what is the energy that you've been giving to your life? What is the energy that you've been giving to your experiences in your day-to-day life? Are you showing up for your life in a state of like abundance and celebration for everything that you do have? Or are you sitting in the space of holding on to everything that you don't have or isn't the way that you think it should be? It's time to really get intentional with that. And we open the Soul's Truth deck with, does my life have room for more pleasure and play? How can you have fun today, bringing yourself out there? And what if it isn't true? What if all of the stories that you've been telling yourself aren't true? And what if you could reframe the narratives? Ha! Am I willing? Are you willing to show up for your life in a different energy and state? You gotta be willing to give your energy to something different. Am I communicating my needs? Are you actually asking for what you need? Or are you sitting there in this space of, oh, well, I can't do that because the answer is going to be no? Well, how do you know the answer is going to be no unless you ask the question? What can I burn? Which is really actually kind of funny because I did this yesterday and I grabbed a bay leaf today and I'm like, all right, I think we're going to do a little burning at the end of this. So we're going to put some shit onto this bay leaf and burn it, give it back to the universe. It's time to let it go. It's time to love yourself. All right, what does our soul want to say to us today? So what can I burn? Totally fair. I have no idea when the Libra new moon is. Who am I ready to forgive? This is like yourself, right? Forgiving others. What expectations do I have that are impossible to meet? That's a good one. I know that one's come out before. 1151. Does my life have more room for more pleasure and play? So many. Okay. Like that was a lot. So we're just going to do these 6. Because 6 is the number of love. And then I'm going to grab the marker. One sec. Oh. Standing up, standing up. Oh. Stretch my legs. Oh, I make food after this. All right. What can I burn? In the reverse. So it's time for you to like let some shit go. Because trying to read it upside down is probably not gonna be super fun. So what can I burn? It's time for you. I invite you. Like your homework this week is have a burning. Right? Even if it's not just on a bay leaf. I mean, use the bay leaf, get the big ones, because then you can write more shit on them, as my girlfriend said. But allow yourself to honor that and actually like let it go. Because yeah, I did the bay leaf burning yesterday and I could actually feel it. And I worked all day and I could have come home and been like, oh, I'm so tired and oh my God and blah, 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 blah. But no, I did work. I work on my website, working on my courses, working on my mentorships, working on my offerings, getting ready, super exciting news. I'm being interviewed on a podcast on Thursday. If you guys want to follow it, it's called Be Your Best You. I can drop the link in the comments after I do this, or I'll actually even create a separate post. And I'll double check because I'm like, I don't know. I gotta reach out to them. But anyways, allowing yourself to let go of the old, right? And being in that space to really like expand your experience and show up differently and be in that energy of I am the future version of me. So, you know, how do you want to show up for your life? What's the energy that you're giving to your life? Are you giving the energy of like not enough and this sucks and this is hard and this isn't the way that I want it and all of that kind of stuff? Or are you allowing yourself to be in the space of like, yeah, okay, maybe my life isn't exactly the way that I want it, but I'm also creating something that resonates with my soul for me. And that in itself is huge. So today your soul is asking you to burn it. Burn it all. The ugly lies, the pain, the shame, the criticism, the images that run through your head, the reminders of what you did wrong, and the proof that you are not enough. Burn, baby, burn. Your soul is calling. It's time for a rebirth. You are like the phoenix rising from the ashes. No longer attached to the past. You are free. Your wings are ready. Use them. Today, your soul is asking you to make the choice that you will no longer let the past define you. Pick up your pen. What will your next chapter look like? That, I think, is pretty freaking awesome, if you ask me. So we're going to write it all down. We're going to put it on the bay leaf. We're going to let go. So if you're hopping in, you can write it in the comments, do your own bay leaf burning. But it's time to burn it all. Let go of the lies. Let go of the stories. Let go of telling yourself that you're not enough. Because at the end of the day, again, allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to give. And when you're giving from a space of abundance and overflow. Not from a space of lack and do not have, right? But you got to be willing to put on your own oxygen mask first. Because what you don't see is, looking at where are you giving from a space of like, I don't have, or, you're over giving to other people and not giving to yourself. You're still worthy of being given to. You're still worthy of being abundant. Who am I ready to forgive? I am not what happened to me. I am who I choose to become. I am not what happened to me. I am who I choose to become. It is time to let go, forgive, and move. Or is it time to let go, forgive, and move onward? Is your soul ready to forgive someone else or yourself? Forgiveness brings sweet release, freedom, and insight. Look at it from their shoes. Notice how you grew and what you learned. Who do you want to become, and how is this resistance holding you from what your soul wants? Today, your soul is asking you to write a forgiveness letter. Then practice the Ho'oponopono prayer today while thinking of the person you are ready to forgive. And the Ho'oponopono prayer is, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And it's all about, the Ho'oponopono prayer is all about bringing yourself back into Pono, which is wholeness of self. Because your value, your worthiness, your sense of oneness is never found outside of you. It's always within you. And when you recognize just how supported you are, the abundance of everything that is surrounding you, you give yourself the space and permission to witness the abundance that you have. So again, rather than looking at everything that you're losing or everything that isn't good enough or isn't working or this or that or whatever else, you then miss the opportunities and the abundance that's coming. I had an story time. Okay? I had an experience yesterday at the salon. I was working, it was Monday, right? I had a client in the morning, I had my first client. I had made a boo-boo and messed up on the promo deal days. So when she came in, and I forgot to tell her and everything, so I messaged my manager, asked her if I could still honor it, and she was like, yep, that's totally fine, but you're gonna have to figure out probably a different way to do it. And I was like, totally cool. And so we still honored it because that was my mess up, right? I messed up. I will take full ownership over that. So we 50% offed her color, because that's what it was you get 50% off your color with a full price haircut. And I thought it went to the end of October rather than the end of September. So I was like, whoops. And just with everything, I forgot to call her and everything. So we still honored it though. We still did it. She absolutely loved her hair. She loved the way that I cut it. So she'd come back, right? And being able to do that. But I deepened that relationship with that client because I did this. And recognizing I didn't have to. right? But I wanted to, because I was like, this was my mess up. So we're still going to do this. We're making it at work, right? Her appointment ended up going a little bit later. Her consultation took a little bit longer. And, you know, but she tipped me really well based off of, right? It was super awesome and amazing. And then I had, you know, it was quiet and everything. And so I was like doing some stuff. I was reorganizing the earrings. I went and spent $20 to buy containers, which I'm going to see if I can submit it and ask the question. But whether I can or I can't, right, doesn't really matter. But now everything is organized so that it's laid out. It's super easy. We're like still work in progress because we've got to make like labels and tags and blah, blah, blah and all this kind of stuff. But being able to look at it again, right, and go, all of the pieces are coming together so that expanding wise, it gets better and better. And, you know, making some shifts and changes. And then I was like getting ready to clean up to come home, and a lady walked in, and I literally like just kind of taken off, and so I'm getting ready to kind of clean up my station and stuff, and I can hear her. And so I'm walking around, like I walk around the corner, and I mean, I could have said no because I was off in like 30 minutes, right? And I was like, and so I walked around and I looked, and I was like, and of course the receptionist was like, is that enough time? And I was like, oh yeah, it's not a problem. Don't worry about it. Right? Like, let's get her booked in. Because to me, again, even if I have to stay a little bit later at work, whatever, right? That's still a potential. And some people would be like, no, and I'm not, but that's not how I show up. And at the end of the day, I shit you not, right? That decision to take that client, she tipped me almost the full price of her haircut. So I literally almost made like 100% tip because I was willing to stay later and create that space, and I gave her a business card on top of it, right? So building those relationships and the connections, you're networking, you're giving your energy, you're opening yourself up, and rather than trying to control exactly how everything looks, you're allowing yourself to be where you are, you're taking ownership. You're showing up, you're doing the work. You got to give yourself permission to embrace it as well. What expectations do I have that are impossible to meet? Your soul really wants you to look at it and go, the expectations we have are mostly delusional and impossible to meet. We then experience disappointment with ourselves or with a relationship when they are not met. It's time to dissolve your expectations and replace them with gratitude. Today, your soul is asking you to be grateful. 12:03 on the clock, 1, 2, 3. You are being summoned to more peace. Peace is home for our soul, and it is accompanied by trust. It comes when you surrender and focus only on what you can control. If you expect nothing and are grateful for everything, you will experience extreme fulfillment. So embrace it. Allow yourself to be open, because you never know. The difference between you yesterday and you living a completely different life tomorrow is all in how you show up for today. Let go of the expectations. Let go of the beliefs that things have to be this way. You got to empty the cookie jar. Does my life have more room for pleasure and play? In what area are you lacking pleasure right now? Maybe in certain relationships or with work. Is it possible to shift the seriousness of life to experiencing a more creative, wild, and playful side of you? Today, your soul is asking you, what would happen if you added more play and laughter into your life? What area is lacking this right now? Take time to play. Let go of any need to produce anything. So do what you're doing because it lights up your life, because you enjoy it, because you love getting to be who you came here to be. It's time for you to get excited about it. It's time for you to celebrate that, to appreciate it. What do I resist feeling right now? I literally said this yesterday, and you've heard me say this before so many times. We have to feel it to heal it. In order to let go of pain, we first have to honor its existence. Emotions are like waves. Some are soft, some are fierce, some are layered, and some will sweep you off your feet. When we allow ourselves to feel it all, we can then release what no longer serves us. So ask yourself today, allow yourself to feel this wave. Let it move through you, no matter how long it lasts. Then release it back into the ocean. Feel it, heal it, enjoy the sweet freedom within your soul. You got to be in that space. Be in the gratitude. Visualizing yourself, right? Feel the wave. Get excited about it. What are you giving your energy to? And name all the things that you love. This is a really beautiful way to close this out. Like, I absolutely love this. This week, your guides want you to really ask yourself, are you one of those things that you love? And if you're not, it's time for you to be reminded, I give myself all the love and attention I need. So your homework this week, every day, I want you to write down 10 things that you love about yourself. And they can be the same if they need to be. I mean, I do invite you to switch it up if you can. Because the more that you focus on all of the things that you love and the more that you give your energy to being part of that, the more you experience even greater abundance and joy and experiences. The more you get to learn to love yourself, the more you open yourself up to receiving the surprises from the universe. Allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to give. And you're giving and receiving rather than like holding on to it from like an attachment standpoint. You're giving and receiving openly and freely. You're giving and receiving from a space of abundance and worthiness and I am enough. And, you know, if you're not feeling that right now, ask yourself why. Go deeper into it. What do you feel you need in order for you to shift out of that not feeling it? And can you give that to yourself? Love yourself. Celebrate yourself. You know, looking at where I am today versus 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I'm a completely different identity. I'm a completely different person. And 10 years from now, I'm going to be yet another completely different person. Because I choose to show up differently. So this is your invitation. Show up differently. And let's write down what we're ready to release. I release all and any feelings of unworthiness. I am enough. And a heart for amplified unconditional love, because you are enough and we are enough. We love ourselves. There's the planner. It's time to go be magic. It's time to love and celebrate yourself along the way. And it's time to recognize that everything that you are looking for outside of yourself is something that can be seen and found within yourself. So this is what I have for you. I hope it helps. Take what resonates, discard the rest. And if you are interested in diving into your own personalized reading or Reiki healing, please feel free to check out the link below. Send me a DM. I love and appreciate you. Just as a reminder, this is a generalized reading, so take what resonates and discard the rest. 1211 1211. You are divinely guided, unified, and empowered to create the life of your dreams. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow at 12:12 for your Reiki Healing Wellness Wednesday. Mwah. Bye.